Fingaz, yeah.
The Babbling Heads podcast.
Shout out to DJ Arsenic for this beat.
Oh, wait.
Yes, welcome to the Babbling Heads. I am DJ Fingaz.
I'm the bass 187 and we have Charlie X2C on the desk.
Yo.
So, ja, Sarah het ek die video gesien wat hulle die iemand sy huis afbreek basically man. Die city op Cape Town. En ja, nee, soos ek al gesê het, ek het was 'n bietjie teerie uit man. En wat my seer maak is dat daar is genoeg cry-out hier man. En toe dink ek myself wat hulle 'n befakte conversation was met JefferyChrist because he's on the ground, he's loving it, you know what I'm saying? En toe ek sien Fadiel se comment van 'n planned shutdown, toe dink ek die is 'n perfect conversation om te hê op 'n podcast man.
Yeah.
So vandag het ons vir JefferyChrist en vir Fadiel Adams van die CCC.
Hi guys, welcome.
Welcome.
So I think we'll kick it off with Jeff because your video has gone viral across Cape Town. And I think one of the things we discussed off air was that people don't realize or don't want to get involved until it hits home, until they are directly affected. And what we all don't realize is that the city of Cape Town can implement these policies at any point in time without our consent across any neighborhood on the Cape Flats. And we will be left powerless. So unless we start rising up now and together, nothing's going to change. So give us a bit of a history about yourself, like how you came to be in this position.
Yeah, I go by the name of JefferyChrist. Everybody knows me as a comedian. I'm an activist in my community. I'm a professional breakdancer. I'm a choreographer. I'm a child and youth care worker. I work with communities, with kids, installing a sense of belonging. I'm all over the place, man. I'm just basically the average community member, you know?
Okay. So when this went down, and it's not just been a case of now this recent video with the evictions. How long has the situation been bubbling in Houtbaai?
Since my awareness, it's 2010, where there was about over 300 cops in Engburg, waar hulle geskietery gemaak het. Hulle het net daar gekom en huise afgebreek en mense geskiet al oor die plek. I had a few friends that was shot personally. One of my friends, I was shot out. The bullet is still in his head. They can't remove it. If they remove it, he dies. Yeah. And also from 2010, then a lot of incidents happened since 2010 till now, recently, yesterday.
Okay. Iemand het een keer gesê dat daar was laws geïmplement during the 2010. Wat die staat meer power gee. Is it a coincidence? Of was het wat dan sê? Is it a coincidence? Of why 2010 nou? Hoe kan dan sê hoe dit begin 2010?
Soos ek weet, as jy lees dat daar court order in Engburg is, man.
Yeah.
A court order wat die mense niet toelaat om te bouwen.
Yeah.
So as sy 'n plek opsit, dan violate sy die court order. So dan automatically, soos hulle met my broer gemaak het, personally, my bloedbroer, hulle het sy naam gekry, toe maak hulle saak teen hom, toe maak hulle vir hom hoofman agter, toe sit hulle warrant uit vir sy arrest, toe stiek hulle my na aan met 3:00 oggend, toe skiet hulle vir ons weg met live ammo, met lasers op hulle guns, om my broer te help, toe hulle vir moer aan die huis, met sy lightie in die huis, wat skree, en sy meisie, toe trek hulle vir hom kaal gat uit die beeg uit, en hulle die voeties nog kwala, dat hulle nie kan evidence het, dat ons kan evidence het in die boere.
That's fucked up.
Shit.
Fadiel, from your perspective as leader of the Cape Plus, at least Cape Catholic Congress, how do you see us combating travesties, trauma like this? Because one thing that Jeff also spoke about off air was the fact that the youth, the lighties on the ground are now so gutful of the elders just having continuous talks and meetings with the city and trying to be civil, trying to work into the system. Where do we get to the point where we say enough is enough?
I don't know, the mood on the ground. Hi guys, thank you. The mood on the ground is becoming increasingly militant. I'm not 100% sure if I agree with it, but I do understand it. I've just come from our advocate because we are looking at legal ways to challenge the city because these people aren't human, man. We can nag and we can protest and we can stone and we can do whatever we want to, but they hold all the aces. We gave it to them. 63% majority in the last local elections means they can do whatever the hell they want with us. We've signed for it. The city, last week, they committed a crime, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
The president has announced that no one may be evicted under COVID law. We live in a folk state where a white minority will do to us what they want. One colored man puts up a shack, they'll throw it down. An entire squatter camp from the Eastern Cape goes up on the other side of Mitchell's Plain, they won't move a finger. But, you see, it's engineered.
Yeah.
The funders of the DA want to turn white, they want to turn Hout Bay into a white enclave, they want to turn it into a Camps Bay. The people in camps in Hout Bay will all be given title deeds eventually, and then they'll be forced out by gentrification. There'll be a rates hike, there'll be a tariff hike, and before you know it, you won't be able to afford your house anymore. That's the plan.
Yeah.
The reason squatter camps can go up all around Mitchell's Plain is to drive home that black fear that they thrive on. And we keep falling for it. I don't know if we can win this war. I'll be honest with you. I don't know if we can. These people, the heirs of a Verwoerd, they still have the apartheid tactics. You just heard what they did to his brother. You saw what they did to this woman.
Yeah.
These people are sick. I don't know if we can win this fight, but fight it we will. We are planning a march in Hout Bay soon. I'll tell it to you live that I'm agitating that we march to JP Smith's house.
Sure.
I say we make that fucker uncomfortable. That's my 5 cents.
Because like I said, unless you feel the impact of it yourself personally, you will not want to get involved. And soos hulle sê, hulle beklei teen ons met gevleelde woorde. So we are being systematically broken down by their policies, their laws, their bylaws, where they completely strip away our rights. I mean, they try to pass a bylaw in terms of where they're saying the noise nuisance complaint, where they can come in and anybody can lay a complaint against you saying, sy praat hard, sy vloekt hard.
That's a fucked up one, no?
They have the right to evict you from a community. So, I mean, how is it that the country, the president says one thing, and the Western Cape and the DA-led government just wants to do the exact opposite? They feel that they want to run us and rule us out. And I hear what you're saying, especially when it comes to areas like Sikalo and the extension in Kailicha. It's because they want to agitate Brown, even though we are African, we are black. They want to come in, segregate us and say, right, you are now, these people are your enemies. The real enemy is the government that runs this province because they are allowing this. They're not saying coming in and saying, in Hout Bay, here's affordable housing, here are plan options, how can we extend and benefit the people that have grown up and were born in this area. They rather want to say, here's at Wolvergat, or wherever it is, and Blikkiesdorp, put us into there. That's the same place where they want to put the Bramwell street residents in from Woodstock. People that have lived there, whose families have generationally lived there. You can't take somebody out of Hout Bay whose their bread and butter is the sea. They've been making their living off the land as the ancestors have before them. And I say, we're going to relocate you into a barren desert land. And you must take a kroon. With what? With the SASSA grant? How the hell are you going to exist as a human being?
Well, is net the MO man is like hulle doen nie elke dieselfde ding man. Want check net nou wat gebeur het met in Strandfontein. Daar was nog 'n fucked up ding as wat hulle die homeless mense so toe gemove het.
Yeah.
En basically 'n squatter camp created man. But nou Fadiel, ek is baie interested in die shutdown man. Wat sy alluded op Facebook.
Oh,
man.
it's not alluded to. It's going to happen.
Okay, so kan ze ons meer information gee as sy kan op this at this stage of
We are
of
targeting 38 areas in Cape Town. And we are going to be encouraging our support in Cape Town to close down all major arterial roads in support of Hout Bay. You see, for too long we've been struggling in silos, man. JefferyChrist does his own thing, Fadiel Adams does his own thing, Roscoe does his own thing, and this is why these people don't get affected. They don't get affected. So, CCC, Heartful Cape Townian, and anyone that wants to join us, we are going to lock down the city. Not for a day. We're going to do it indefinitely. We are going to close down the city and make these Zionists bleed. It's the only language that they understand. And it's going to be done in a peaceful manner.
Dat wil je gevraagd
Law
worden.
enforcement will be agitating like they normally do. They'll be shooting at women and children like they normally do. It's how they roll. We're going to ask our support not to respond, not to stone, not to burn,
I respect that, dude.
but to close down. You see, it's like we need to send a message to these people, man. That if you touch Houtbay, you touch Manenberg. And if you touch Manenberg, you touch Bonteheuwel. And when you touch Bonteheuwel, you touch Delft. It's the only weapon we have. And we're going to use this weapon. We're going to use it as effectively as we can. You see, last time we had the shutdown was moderately successful. But we listened to lies. The MEC for Human Settlements came in and lied. The Human Rights Commissioner came in and
When
lied.
you say lied, what did they say and what did
We
they...
took the Steenwiller case to him. He said, look, there's almost 200 families facing eviction. He said, I'll sort every one of them out. Everyone who qualifies for a RDP house, I will. That was his undertaking to me in front of several witnesses. Tertius Simmons is a liar. He's a boss boy. But we get used to them. The Human Rights Commission, they listened to us. They understood our case. Chris Nissen promised to use his powers as Human Rights Commissioner to summons the Minister of Housing, the MEC for Housing, the MACO member for Housing. I think the ANC called him back in. The Commissioner makes a promise to 14 people sitting there. I will get these people to the table to listen. 1 year later, we're still waiting. You know, it's politics, man. It's a fucked up game. You know, the only prizes you win in politics is fucked up prizes. So we're not going to play politics with this. This is about our human rights, guys. I don't live in Houtbay. I only go to Houtbay for crayfish. However, a woman's house was torn down. In Woodlands, the same thing. You know what they did in Woodlands? They took the people's building materials. They broke down the shacks. You know what they did with the materials? They dumped it in Sikalo.
Yo.
That's fucked up.
They are telling us we can't erect, but they'll dump these windy houses, these roof sheets. They'll dump it in Sikalo. Yeah, you guys build, it's fine. Yeah, that's how they roll. I'm telling you now, I'm beginning to believe that the Democratic Alliances, it's an evil thing. I'm beginning to believe it. These people are sick. Look at what they've done to Houtbay. Look at what they've done. That big Houtbay jetty, 3 people from Houtbay that I know of work there. Everyone else is either white or foreign. So, first you take their permits, you turn a fisherman into a poacher. Then you take their land. So you turn a backyarder into a squatter. What more do you want to take? What more do these people have? How much more must we lose? You know, 25 years later, and the colored people are still begging for equal rights. Nantal, I tell you straight, I'm not a beggar. And I don't have 25 more years. This has to happen. It has to happen now. And it has to happen by any means necessary, man. You know, if people need to die, then people need to die. There are certain things worth dying for. I am prepared to die for this. We cannot allow our children to live like this.
Not at all.
Kijk, I'm thinking of the shutdown and the COVID-19. How will you try and curb that? Because die gaat mos nou obviously hulle troefkaart wees om te sê ja, julle kan dit nie nou die protests hou nie because we have a pandemic on our hands and
Let me help you there. We'll be issuing sanitizer and masks.
okay, well,
That's all we can do. We caught up, man. What? COVID kills us or the government kills us.
Yeah.
Choose your poison. You know? They didn't consider COVID when they made these people homeless.
yeah.
Ja.
That was the fucked up part.
That's what I'm saying. We're going to defy the COVID law like they've defied the COVID law. So if I need to go to court for breaking COVID protocol, I expect the mayor, the MEC, and the MACO member for housing in the same dock.
Yeah, this is heavy. I'm not even sure like what direction to take this further line of questioning into. But yeah, the systematic oppression of people by this former apartheid party. And I'll call them that because, yes, they were remnants from the MP, etc. And the so-called breakaway Blue Party is nothing more than the old draconian state in a new set, a new suit. And they're making it abundantly clear as to what the benefits of colonialism have brought us, and we should be so honored to have been colonized, raped, killed, stolen from, and just thank the white man. Fuck that shit. I'm sick and tired of like basically going in and out of city meetings, council meetings, seeing where they see our people progressing. There's no plan of colors prospering, blacks prospering, Indians prospering. It's just a set group of people who have to either buy in or step the fuck out. So from my point is, yes, I think for the shutdown we should not adopt a violent approach because they will look for any excuse to exterminate us.
True.
But at the same time, I would like, and if anybody involved in organized crime is watching this, that's of colored descent or is colored, brothers, you are our, first and foremost, we do not condone what you do in our communities.
That's for sure.
You are gangsters, you rob, kill, steal, sell drugs. But at the same time, we need you to become our Mkonto Wisizwe. We need you to be our foreline, our line of defense, our guns, which you do get from the DA state. Let's make no qualms about that. You are supplied by the police, etc. You hold the city at ransom in certain regards. So it's a time that you stand up, and because we are first and foremost the youth and the adults in our communities that service the drug market, etc., are your customers. So if you don't want to lose your customer base, you need to start stepping up and taking care of the communities that harbor you at times. And this is quite a wrong approach to take, but I don't see any other option. That going forward in the future, nobody should be coming into our communities making empty promises. They must be held to task by various levels of interactions, community engagement, etc. And I see Triple C as the only party stepping up. I don't see the DA or the ANC making any effort to make any changes, like conducive changes that on the ground where we can say, we can see your child that's 5 years old going to UCT. We don't see a structured growth where our schools are safe enough to go to, where there's feeding schemes to, especially in those areas where there is, the middle class has been so emancipated that basically everybody is either not turning towards crime, poaching, etc., to try and make a living, because that is your one basic human right, is food, shelter, security. So know that. I mean, that is the basic Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So the city doesn't see us. The city doesn't see a lot of people. And it's becoming abundantly clear what they did in Sramfontein with the homeless. That was a violation of human rights. It was even putting more people at risk of COVID. A girl got raped there. Substance abuse, people with mental issues. So the city didn't give two fucks. They've been awarded a budget. I don't know, I'd like to know where the fuck that budget's gone to. So from my side, it's like, we need to rise up as a colored people. And I'm not being exclusionary. I know the Cape Flats, each area, each ghetto has their problems. But colored rights have been violated and fucking for way too long. I don't know, that's just me.
Jeffrey, who is on the ground, like on the like community wise, man? Wat jy van weet, wat control vat basically. Besides nou Fadiel wat inkom.
As many parties involved wat control vat van die situation, but jy weet mos soos in ons culture, daar's altyd fight in die background ook. So ek dink ons gemeenskap, ons moet eintlik ook fight met ons self en uitvind hoe kan ons saam staan. Die fight is within eerste man. Want ek dink as dit kom by die frontline, was almal saam, as ons numbers is accounted for, man. Because we're fighting for one right, die right extend reg om ons gemeenskappe hier. You see, as die right gaat reg kom, gaat allemaal benefit van die right. You know, so we all need to stand together, so as a fight within them. So as klomparties, allemaal cover sy eie purpose en sy doel. You see, so hoe ons het een gaat maak, daar is nog een question.
Our first fight is always over leadership. That's the big problem we have. If I can't lead it, then I want to break it. I could call out people by name. I'm not going to do it, but I mean, that's why I don't get involved in the leadership issues. I'm just here to do my bit.
And I think you said from the offset with the establishment of the Cape Colour Congress was that if anybody feels that they are more qualified to step up to the plate, then please do so. Because we need the learned people. We need the people who are willing to lead. But what we don't need is another bunch of procrastinators and pencil pushers that's just going to sit there and expect things to happen. We need action. We need people of action. And that's why you are one of the very few people that have come up and said, I'm willing to stand in the firing line. So whoever else has something to say with regards to that, step the fuck up or your pick.
Our people are begging to be led. You know, but our people deserve to be led by a gentleman, not a sheep. All these recycled politicians, they must all go creep in their moor. You know, it is time for new blood.
Yeah.
And new blood needs to step up. And sure, in the last few days, guys, I've met some awesome young people. And I tell you, also, I look at these kids and I go like, okay, you wear great. You wear greatness like a Gucci suit. It's like you're made for this. You know what I mean? So yeah, I'm looking forward to working with these kids. I don't have time for people that have sold us out continuously. I refuse to work with them. I'll work with Jeffrey. I'll work with anyone who's willing to stand in the front line with me. Come get shot with me.
Yeah.
You know, to many of these people, it's all about the cameras. It's all about the newspapers. It's not about the people. And it's time that it becomes about the people. I tell you again, we don't pull this off, we're lost.
Yeah.
Lost.
The next election for us is dire straits. That's the way it gets in. I don't see another 4 years or whatever the amount living under this tyranny, man. Anyway.
You can also see that the DA is slowly changing its approach, because I think it was last night or the night before when Steenhuisen called out Alan Zille on a tweet about colonialism. It would never have happened, man.
Yeah.
Zille has been what she's been like the advocate for colonialism for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Now Steenhuisen grows the balls to call her out. No,
that's just a ploy.
No, that was planned. You know, because now Steenhuisen needs to be projected into the front line, and now he needs to be seen to be reaching out to people of color and all this type of rubbish. To hell with it, man. We're not interested in their politics. We're interested in the results. And you know what? The proof is in the pudding. Over the last 12 years, the colored people have gotten a raw deal. Whether it was housing, whether it was food, whether it was jobs, it didn't matter, because we didn't matter. Now we show them that we matter. I spoke to a lady from the Department of Social Development yesterday. She tells me that they got a memo from upstairs saying that food aid was to be given to the black areas in particular. Like we don't have hungry people in Hout Bay and in Lavendale and Elsie River. I mean, what the hell have we done? Who paid the taxes for that food? We did. And this is where the fight starts. You know, guys, it's not about being exclusionary, man. It's about being fair. And if me demanding for our fairness makes me a racist or an exclusionist, then you know what? They can give me the badge today. I'm okay with it. I know who I am. But this Hangberg fight, it has to be fought. Absolutely has to. And once we're done with the housing issue, then we move to the fishing issue. Because our people cannot remain beggars. Can't. Exactly. And I'm not the spokesman for Hout Bay. I'm just a supporter.
Yeah, like I can say that court order is still in place. They're still coming back again and again and again. We haven't seen the last of them. We fought them on the roads, but that court order is still in place.
I think that court order definitely needs to be challenged in the Human Rights Court.
Do you not just love the way they can take your tax money to get a court order to keep you down? Don't you just love the way they do it?
That's why I say it's like we get tied up by the laws and the bylaws and having to be not complicit. We need to fall into line and do exactly as they say. But so at the same time, it's like I cannot advocate for my own rights because it's been passed by the judiciary. And the amount of salad colours imposition of power within the city of Cape Town is appalling. But like I said, wait until that shit hits the home. Wait until your lighty can't do something, you Mr. Councillor, etc. Wait until you are policed within your own neighbourhood and treated like cuck by the own police officers. I think enough is enough. And this is literally the time to stand up. So,
I just want to, just on the topic of the shutdown.
Ja, I wil ook dates-wise and so, man.
We'll be discussing the date on Saturday morning.
Okay, cool.
The Stratcom will sit down. We'll toss ideas up and see what comes out of it. I'll notify you guys. But on the topic of the shutdown, I can guarantee you violence. I'm pleading for peace, but I can guarantee you violence. Because the element in my community, it will stand up it'll probably be prompted and paid to stand up to make us look bad. So they can say on TV, can you see what they're about? So that they can gloss over what we're standing up for. So that they can show us a robot that's been burnt down.
Yeah.
This is the issue now. It's not the housing. It's not what we've done. Look at what they've done. We told you these ought are like this. This
These
is how
wild,
it'll play out.
barbaric animals.
Yeah, can I touch on that? Even I recorded something like that. The cops was fighting us all night.
Yeah.
At some instance, they pulled back. When criminals were, they pulled back. En toen stel die mensen en they were breaking down. Toen kwam aan die een police weer vooruit om my criminals te stoppen. Van daar is me nou Morris en Nies, man.
Yeah.
Ons is criminals. You see, that hulle wil heel moeilijk soos criminals and we can't get the support we need. So ek wil net die clear maak, ons is criminals, man. We just people stuck in poverty and in an old system that's killing us, you know?
Yeah, no. No, I hear you on that. And that's the first tool that the white supremacist movement will use in terms of dehumanizing. So making people believe we are ungodly, unhuman, filthy, wretched, thieving, no culture having people, so that they can condone the use of violence. They can condone the shooting of eyes out. They can condone having children being subjected to trauma by seeing their parents being demasculated in front of them. So this kak has got to end, and it's going to end soon. By hoek by crook, we're tired of playing by your laws. We're tired of playing by your societal norms, because this is not normal. It's not normal for you to say politely in my face that I should be grateful for the trauma you caused for our generations of Khoi, Bushmen, immigrants, slaves, the works. This is not us. We would like to be treated. They say Cape Town is a very, very welcoming city. Colored people will welcome you into their home, always smiling. But we can't keep smiling. This is
They're not
hurtful.
welcome here.
Yeah.
That's what it boils down to, is the fact that the colored man is not welcome in the only home he knows. You see, it's a fuck up, man. In that, as an aboriginal to this province, I have to explain my existence.
Yeah.
That I need to explain to you my needs, which is the same as everyone else's.
Yeah.
But my needs don't matter. The state has no intention of meeting those needs. We need to meet them ourselves. Look, guys, I don't condone violence. But if I have to stand up and fight for my right to live here, it is what I'm prepared to do. The problem the state has, and I think we can all agree on this, is no one fights like colored people do. That the day when we get together and we stop slapping, close our fists, and start punching, they in the cuck. Remember, 1976, they can give all the credit they wanted to Soweto. It started in Bonteheuwel. We need to revive the spirit of 1976.
Yeah.
That's what I see.
Do you anything else that you want to continue on it? Or are we gonna?
And I just think it's also, I don't want to talk too long about this. I want to be concise so that we don't impact on people's data and stuff like that, so they're able to watch this thing in the full.
Ja,
And then we can follow up with another
ons is 'n
live.
bietjie skaars geweest nou van COVID-19, so we're not releasing that much podcasts. But hopefully in the future we will be more consistent, maybe even a weekly thing. But yeah, that's yeah. So I'm looking forward to hearing from you. Once you have more information, maybe it's before the shutdown, we can have another podcast just to chat and see. Kan dit vir mense advise wat gaan gebeur in
No
hierdie
problem.
opsig?
No problem at all.
And also, like, I think, like, from our side specifically as the Babbling Heads podcast, to look at ways where we can make this a platform where all community organizations can come and
Yeah.
and just, like, if you need to have your say, we welcome you. You can contact us via our Facebook page, and we can see how we can get your issues addressed and discuss relevant topics that needs to be discussed within our communities, especially pertaining to gender-based violence, the scourge which we've been seeing happening across the country, and as well as topical issues within our video and communities.
But even artists that like to just come up and chat about the music, whether it's community-based or whether it's pure entertainment, get in contact with us, and we can make it like a platform for all of us to
Yeah, let's
to
celebrate
ourselves.
celebrate ourselves as Cape Townians, as coloureds, as Africans, as Indians, as
Human beings.
immigrants, human beings, bunchies and whatever.
Oh,
But anyways, from the Babbling Heads podcast,
We're
we'd like to
celebrating them light-skinned niggas as well.
them light skins, dark skins, red skins.
Nah, ik is cool, man. Ik is cool. Follow mij, JefferyChrist op Facebook. Ik is alles in één, man.
Oh, ja. Kijk je die video van jou op die, met die dolphins? Die was ons befuck, my bro, man.
Dolphins?
Ja, hij heeft geroeid en toen in die middel van aan die zeeën en zwemmen met fucking zeker about 20, 30, ne?
Die dag
Swimming with it?
Ja.
Ja.
Like Aquaman?
Dude, die bro, they speel met those light skin niggas, dude.
Nah, us dark skin, we don't get insulted with them. That is just...
Okay, cool. Outro beat. Jij weet maar zo.
Oh wait, so from us,
Oh.
catch us soon.
Zak het dus, hè.
We'll be going live on Facebook. We'll be changing our format up slightly.
Yeah.
The most of the content will still be available on YouTube, but we'll be pushing more content live on our Facebook page. Also, the people can see it. This one will be a pre-recorded one that will be going out, but hopefully by next month we'll have full live raw. And when I state this, it's going to be raw. We'll just be switching. We won't be editing. Profanity and everything will be included. So. Yeah, not that at all. Like, that's a fail, man.
I feel victimized, that was that.
All right, peace.
Peace.
Safe.
The Babbling Heads podcast.